Ladies and gents, you're all being scammed. So, with restrictions easing and everything, which is great, the vaccine and everything, it's great, the numbers are falling, COVID numbers are falling, which is excellent. It's no surprise that, many of us, we want to like start to go abroad now and everything. And yeah, it just sucks about the situation with the testing, because I'm looking online, and it was the same last year as well. But why on earth are PCR tests so expensive? So we get NHS ones, which are free, but we don't take those ones to go on holiday because we want to keep the capacity to those who really need it. But the private PCR tests, I do not understand where these pricings are coming from. Because you don't only need one. So a green list country at this point in time, you need one to fit to fly, and you need one coming back as well. And it can rack up a bill of like the very cheapest I've seen is about £120. So that's two times 60, 2 times 65, £130. Like going there and coming back, and it's because these companies must be making, it must be insane. They must be rolling in it, man. Listen, sir, all I want is a PCR test. That is all I want. Well, here we go. £99. It's a tad expensive. Okay, £59. That sounds, reasonable. Well, let's go and see their prices. Well, we have here £49 each. And so the catch with this is that's only for one test. With the green list rules, you have to take a test here and you have to take a test there. So that's only one of the costs. So you have to pay for another one, which would cost at least more than that, and that's nearly £100 alone. So that's just an extra expense onto your holiday. To be honest, it feels like people are starting to feel the same way. I've seen numerous articles today that are mentioning like how these tests are a rip-off. We have like one of the members of the government who's mentioning that it's quote-unquote exploitative. So, and it made the point that the average test in the UK can be £75. That's just for one test, and they can go all the way up to at least £500. £500. And the thing is, like, the government website is listing like about 400 or so companies, hundreds of companies that are providing these tests. But all these companies, they're only using about a handful. They're using a handful of the companies that actually do the test, like the science laboratory companies. So you have all these companies. They're just using these a handful of test providers, and they're basically acting as a middleman and providing a markup. So, we all have to spend loads of money on getting a PCR test. So yeah, we have this comment. I was reading on one of the articles. It mentions about this person who spent £49 for his daughter to take a lateral flow test. And he was mentioning that in her school, they hand it out like confetti, quote unquote. And they have box loads at home, but they can't use them. Shout out another £25 for pre-departure tests. And he had to take a PCR test on day 2, which cost him £55, and altogether it's £344 on top of the holiday. And yeah, people starting to feel quite disgruntled. So we have this comment here, and this person mentions that he lives in Abu Dhabi, and he was saying the PCR test costs £13, only £13, a far cry from the UK and a far cry from the Europe average as well. So how much do these test kits actually cost? Well, I'm on Alibaba right now, and I'm just going to Google PCR test kit, and we can see here that they're selling these ones for around £2 to nearly £5. They're selling the actual testing devices that read the results for about £8 to £10. And I'm not saying all the companies are bulk ordering, but there probably are some. And if you look at the NHS lateral flow test, those ones were labelled actually as coming from China as well. So if the government are bulk ordering from China, then I do not rule out the possibility that some of these companies are bulk ordering from China as well, and there are possibly some that are using sites such as Alibaba, etc., and just charging a high markup for it. But yeah, there's probably a lot. If you've got this kind of disposable income to buy these devices, as well as bulk order these test kits, then there's a lot of money to have been made over last year and over this year as well. What can actually be done about the whole kerfuffle, the whole fiasco? Well, short answer is I don't know. As these companies, they've got the demand, and people are going to continue paying it. The average for this year was £75. Last year was about £180. They've got the demand and they've got the resources to do these things, so people are going to continue paying it. And So as long as the restrictions are kept up, so as long as it's a requirement to have to travel, to go abroad and everything, nothing is necessarily going to change. So yeah, on a sad note, that's kind of all we can do about these things. Let's just hope in the foreseeable future the requirement to do all these tests, which looks pretty likely with the prevalence of all those articles, the requirements to do these tests are hopefully relaxed and we don't have to spend all this money. But as of now, there isn't really that much we can do. So yeah, I thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like. If you didn't enjoy, leave a dislike, and see you again soon.